Hello and welcome to Brad Does Shit, the Linux series, the vlog that brings you simple solutions to common problems. And I say in under 5 minutes, but that never actually happens. This is episode 14, and it's all about Citrix. A lot of the reasons why I even make these videos is just because I find a solution to something, and then if I don't put it down somewhere where I can see it, I'll forget, and then I'll have to do everything over again. So we're going to talk about the system I'm using and why Citrix doesn't run on it, which quite honestly, I couldn't tell you why Citrix doesn't run on it. About 6 months ago, I moved everything to Antergos. I was running Linux Mint before that. Sometimes I'd run Ubuntu, but it was just really buggy. And one of the things that was really annoying with it is when it would suspend, I couldn't log back in and I have to restart the whole system. Antergos, which is an Arch variant, surprisingly enough, is more stable than Linux Mint, which is supposedly supposed to be more stable than Arch because, you know, Arch has rolling updates, so it pretty much updates every day. So when you're talking about something that updates so constantly with rolling updates, you know, the idea is it's probably not as stable as something that just has long-term updates. But Antergos gives you the option to do a long-term, the LTS version, which is the kernel that I use. So I am running it on an older ThinkPad. It's a 2012 T530. And I'm running Cinnamon as my DE. I've got a quad-core 3rd Gen i7, and I'm running 12 gigs of RAM, and it's all on an SSD, so it's fairly fast, runs fine. I don't have any issues with it, except I can't get Citrix to install. And you're like, well, Brad, why are you telling me this unless you have an answer? I do have an answer, but I'm going to show you what doesn't work first, and then we're going to talk about how you fix it. So with Antergos, if you're using it, you already know this. They have an add remove software. The first thing you want to do is install the WebKit 2.0 dependency, and that may fix your problem. It didn't fix mine. With some people it does, but in my case it did not work. But you still need it regardless. So it's this one right here, WebKit 2 GTK. And it seriously takes 6 hours to compile. So this is something I would do before you go to bed, because otherwise you're just going to be sitting here looking at it, you know, twiddling your thumbs. It takes a long time. Once you have that installed, you might be tempted to just see if it works or not. It didn't work on mine. Let me show you. If I could spell. So this is what you're looking for, is the ICA client. And you just hit apply. It's going to ask you to commit, and then you're going to put in your password, and it's going to start building it, downloading it and stuff. But in about 1 minute, it is going to say, nope, we're not going to do that. And all I'm doing right here is, while we're waiting, is I'm using Yaourt to search for Citrix in the Pac-Man in the hour. There it is. So error, failure occurred in the package. Well, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know. No one knows. Fuck you, that's why. So it doesn't work. So we're going to try to run it through Pac-Man, through the command line. You see we have two options here. We've got the current, which is x86 64 64-bit, and then we've got an older one. I tried both of them. Neither one of them works. Let me show you. So I know that some people a little bit more into it than I am. Maybe they would edit the package build. For me, I don't bother. It's not worth my time to try to figure that out. And maybe that's wrong. And maybe that's what's wrong, is it's not working. But whoops. But you'll see here in a second, it's just going to pop up and say, nope, we're not gonna do it. And you're going to be like, well, why can't it? And I've seen this, you know, the first thing I did was go online and look for answers to it. And there are the answers out there, but I didn't see anybody actually do it. Here you can see the errors. So right here, error, failure occurred in package, aborting, make package was unable to build ICA client, wants you to restart it. I tried restarting a couple times. It's usually just a waste of time. Doesn't work. Well, thanks, Brad. That's what you're saying now. Now you told me how it doesn't work. Well, let me I can show you how it will work, and it's not that hard to do. So, oh, I've got this on the let's just go back. Just go to citrix.com. We're going to go ahead and we're going to download a tarball, and we're just going to install it from the command line. And if that sounds daunting to you, really it is not. It's a very simple process, and I'll show you right now. So this is the home page of Citrix. You just want to go to downloads, and you're going to go ahead and you want the Citrix receiver is what you're looking for. So just go ahead and click that, and then it's going to give you a bunch of different options here, right? So we're running Linux. We're going to hit that, and it's 13.10, and now it's going to give you about 10 different packages that you can download this in, and well, not 10 apparently, I like 5. So we just want the tarball because we're not running Debian, and we're not in what am I can't remember now, but we're going to run tarball. So we're going to go ahead and download this right here, and it's the x86-64, and you just download it to your downloads folder. And by the way, if you have any questions about what I was doing when I was doing the command line install or anything like that, I'll do another video on that, but go ahead and ask and I can explain it. Okay, so we're going to go to downloads, and you can see right here, this is what we downloaded, this tarball. And then just extract it to any folder you want. I've already got it extracted in this folder, but let's just add a folder and we'll do it over just so you can see. Okay, so we've extracted the tarball into a folder called Fuck You Citrix. And if you open it up, you can see here's all the files, and right here you can see they've got a file named setupwfc, and it is a shell script. And so it's a script that will start the installation process. And that is what we're looking for with this. So let's go ahead and go back. Now, if you're running Cinnamon, it's very easy. You can just right-click this and say Open in Terminal, which is this one right here. And it's going to go ahead and open this in the terminal. But if you're not running Cinnamon, some of the other DEs don't offer you that option, or it's very, very locked down. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how to do it from the command line with just working our way over there. So typically, if you're going to open up a terminal window, it would be Control-Alt-T, but your system may be slightly different. Open up a terminal, and we're just going to hit CD downloads. And remember, everything in Linux is case sensitive. We'll just hit LS, and it shows us our different files here. I keep wanting to point with my finger, but I gotta use this mouse thing. Okay, so we've got the Citrix folder, which is the one, and then we got Fuck You Citrix. So we're just gonna go to the Fuck You Citrix. So, and then LS, whoops, LS, okay. So you can see there's the file we're looking for, which is the setup.wfc. So like with anything, you wanna use sudo, and then we're going to go /setup. I don't like this keyboard. WFC. And it's going to ask for a password. And there we go. And boom. And this is going to, you have 3 options here: install, remove, quit. And we're going to go ahead and do the install. So we're going to hit 1. And it says which directory. You just want the default, so just hit enter. Now, I already have an install in there, so you won't, but I already do, so I got to hit yes here. And it says I've chosen to install it. Do I want to proceed? I hit yes. And as you can see, it's installing. And I just hit yes. You won't have a lot of this. This is because I have it already installed. And the default is yes, so you can just hit enter. The default is no here. On this one, if you want to install USB support, unless you specifically know that you need it, just go with the default and no. And then we're done. And so we're just going to hit 3, and then we're going to exit. Now we have Citrix installed, and I'll show you when you open up your menu. Here it is, Citrix Receiver. So now if you have a specific URL that you're logging into, you can just go ahead and enter it in right here and then hit connect, and you're done. For me, I use it through third party, and so I'm doing it through a web browser, so a website. So I just hit my basic connection, and what it does is it downloads it in an IC. You can see right here, ICA. So I just click on that, and it opens it up. Automatically integrates it with my browser. And you can see it's starting it up, and I am now logged on to the Citrix server. So that works just fine. One thing to note with that is when you do it through the website like that, it does download a file. Here's the file it downloads right here into your downloads folder. So you just might want to go in every once in a while and delete some of that stuff just to clean it up. But you can see it works just fine. I've run this on Windows, on Mac, and on Linux, and it runs about the same because it's not you, it's the server side that really makes a difference, and your throughput. So, but you can see it runs no problem at all. That is how you get Citrix installed in Antergos.